Hi everybody, my name is J. Richard Varvel, the host of the JRV Morning Show, and I have a very special guest today. This is my sister, Bryan, and I'm very excited to have her on the show this morning.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And so I was driving over here from the east side, and Crystal is over here on
the west side.
The west side, over here in Rosedale. And so I went too far because I was taking the back streets and missed my turn, and so I'm a little bit late. But the good thing about that, and there's a butterfly. The good thing about that is because the conversation I want to have, the topic today, I wanted to be on the fly and just very natural, like what comes through in the moment in the discussion. And so we didn't have a whole lot of time to talk before. And just yesterday is when she said, yes, I'll be on the show with you. So it's all happening rather fast. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
I appreciate that. And being willing to be flexible.
Yes.
So today, the topic is...
girl power.
Yeah. Or woman power.
Right?
Yeah. And why, just the subtleties of the difference. And when I think of like boy power and man power, and like the different way those feel. Okay, so let me just tell you what got me on this really quick. I was at the collective, the Powwow Collective, and that was on Friday. And it was a big customer appreciation day, and there was a bunch of tables set up, and different vendors were there, and we were all able to share our good stuff. And there was, like, I think 4 or 5 women vendors that were there, running their booths, their tables. There's one, she does this beautiful henna art on your arms, and then another one that was doing massage therapy, chair massage therapy, and then another one, she was there giving away free extract samples, and then another one was she does the Quartz Trading Company, their little CBD bath bombs, and they asked me to take a picture of them. And so something about seeing all them in the picture and seeing all these beautiful women out there doing their thing, being entrepreneurs in the world, I was like, go girl power. That's what I thought. And then something, hit me, and I was like, well,
what about that woman power?
I know, yeah, woman power. Like, these are women. These aren't girls. They're not little, 16-year-olds running these booths. They're, 20s, 30-year-old women. And so there's something to that. So I wanted to have that conversation. So when I came to you and told you that yesterday, have you given any thought to it, or has anything kind of like struck you?
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, when you envision girl power, you do first think of women, but it's also, when we say girl power, we're also diminishing it in a way, because we are looked at as girls versus as women. And even though there's a huge feminine movement right now, and feminism, and just that whole role that women want to play, but it's like, we're not giving ourselves justice when we call ourselves girls. You never hear a man call himself a boy, or think
true.
Boy power, it's like, I'm a man, and I own it as a man. And as women, we seem to want to stay in that youthful sense, because when we think of women, we think older. We don't think younger. And I think there's a big issue in the social media that older women are not looked upon as being socially acceptable. We want to stay young, we want to stay youthful, we're always trying to find the next anti-wrinkle cream, so on and so forth, so we can keep that youthfulness. And I think in a way, when women say girl power, they're trying to hang on to that, but at the same time, it's like we're diminishing being a woman and what that means to be a woman in today's society.
And that what comes, I see too when you're saying that, like what comes with being able to stand in your womanness, just like when you said that when a man stands in his man power, there's a different just strength in the wording and energy of it. And that is very interesting, like we're talking subtleties here, like this isn't, you can miss it, this is right in front of our face, all of us, and so I'm really just wanting to get the conversation going here, because I think it's important for us to continue to equalize the playing field, because I don't think that, from my perspective, you know, men and women are wired differently, connected to the earth, but we're all connected to the earth. We all have our source connection, so we're the same in that way, but yet we all express that connection very differently and feel that connection very differently, sense it very differently. And I love that there's like a butterfly hanging out over there. Let's see if we can show you guys real quick. Why? Oh, there we go. Oh, it went away. Where'd it go? Anyway, she went away. She'll be back. She's been flying around all morning. She's enjoying the show too. Okay, so good morning, Aaron and Monica. Thank you for joining in and tuning in with us. If you have anything you want to join in to the conversation here that we're having, please don't hesitate to comment in. I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. We'd love to hear your comments and feedback. I'm not used to having a human that can interact with me. Usually there's a dog running around with me, or some dogs, and so it's really fun to have a human companion. And I love my sister very much. I'm grateful to have her on the show with me.
Yes, and I love you very much.
Yes.
I don't want to miss that.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of the things, though, also that I noticed is that there's negative connotations to girl. I mean, because you never hear someone say, "Oh, you throw like a woman." It's usually you throw like a girl, or you know, there's all these negative being a girly girl or being a sissy, and it's, you know, usually considered being too girly. And it's really disempowering to young girls in general.
Yeah.
You know, that we want to empower and bring up, and with self-esteem and self-worth, and we want to empower them. We have a tendency to empower boys differently, but at the same time, we empower boys to be men, instead of just being a whole and complete human, you know, having both the feminine qualities and masculine qualities. So I think we all strive to have that balance within us.
Exactly. And I think that that's really the key, you know, and that whole idea of balance is interesting, because sometimes I think we might get this idea that we're all going to balance out the same, and that isn't true. I mean, I see it as just like everything else that individualizes us, our masculine and feminine balance is going to be unique, you know, how we settle into that. And I think that, like, in society, I see all these restrictions, at least as like growing up and as being gay and being in the closet for my junior high years. You know, Crystal knew, but she was like waiting for me to like come out of the closet.
That was a big old snoop.
Yeah, she was a snoop.
Had to figure out what's going on.
Spying in my room. I can't believe it. I need some water. Do you want a drink?
No, but I mean, one thing with the sexuality pendulum is the same thing with the masculine and feminine pendulum. Is there are going to be people that are more masculine and just embody that masculineness, and then there's going to be others that and encompass that femininity, and we all fall on a spectrum, and it's finding our own inner balance with our soul purpose and with our heart self and our mind self, because, you know, it's all about connection from mind to heart that really just helps us be that whole.
I agree.
Human.
It's something about that like settles us into that balance. I mean, it takes some time and some background with Crystal and I. We quit our corporate jobs. Our last day was July 13th, Friday the 13th, 2012. And we quit Warner Brothers, and we worked in different departments, and but we worked in the same building. And, you know, people thought we were absolutely out of our mind. And they just couldn't understand how we could be leaving the quote-unquote epitome of, you know, corporations, corporate life, you know, all that comes with having that name, Warner Brothers, that you get to say you work for, and to do our own thing. It wasn't even to go to another studio. That's usually when people leave. They go to Disney or they go to Paramount or whatever. So anyways, that was the start of an interesting journey, because when we first did that, our intention was to come to Bakersfield, help out with our mom and our grandfather, and then our mom's best friend at the time, who was also like kind of like our second mom, removed, Jody, and we were going to come help and then continue traveling and growing our own business. We were going to go on the road, and we ended up staying in Bakersfield for a while.
And we're still in Bakersfield.
And we're still here, even though we've gone and come back and gone and come back. Good morning, Rachel. And she says, hey there, great to see you both. Yes, great to see you as well. Thank you for tuning in to watch us this morning. And so, again, you know, that's the thing about life. You know, we can have these great intentions and dreams, and I think they're important to have. But at the same time, then it's like really, it's about being present, being in the moment, following the breadcrumbs of the universe.
Absolutely.
And seeing where we go, you know, seeing where that leads us. You know, our dreams are going to manifest at some point. And there's you know, depending, there's some things in between that have to manifest some of those dreams coming into being, you know. Everything builds and builds and builds and expands and expands, and sometimes it's contract and it's expand, contract, and it's just this rhythm. There's a universal rhythm.
Divine timing.
Yeah, divine timing.
I mean, it's not rushing anything. It's not trying to force your plan into fruition and making your plan work the way you want your plan to work. I mean, more times than not, I've been disappointed at my plans that I've made for myself, because I'm like, obviously that wasn't what it's supposed to be. I'm happy where I am, and I experienced so many adventures, even though I want to plan and I want to be on that plan and on that schedule. You know, the universe is definitely conspiring with you and not against you, and it's not fighting against that universal flow.
Exactly. And realizing that sometimes a crazy house fire that comes and burns your house down that we had
when you lose everything,
and you lose everything, is not like not that it isn't devastating, and that there wasn't like a shock that we were in for a while, but that we could have stayed in the victim, like, oh my God, this happened to us, and oh my God, poor us, poor us, poor us, and continued that. But we turned it around. We used the experience of having to rebuild the house to follow through on another dream. You know, we always wanted to remodel our mom's house, and we never had the opportunity to do that. And the fire, in a very strange way, opened up that door, you know. And no, I would have never thought, please, universe, send us a house fire. No. I'm very clear that if that ever, that's okay, that doesn't happen again in my life. However, it did, and we made the most of it. And so it's about making the most of what's in front of us at any given moment, enjoying it, because if we're not, like, it's really our own fault, because we are the ones that get to decide, am I enjoying this moment or not?
Yeah.
You know, and we get to decide that every moment. Every single moment we get to decide, am I going to enjoy this moment or not?
And sometimes there's moments you just don't enjoy. And that's okay too.
Exactly. Exactly.
Some moments you're just like, what is happening?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Have a small moment, have your little breakdown, and then understand that, you know, not feeling happy 100% of the time is not a bad thing. You know, having those moments where we break down, we cry, we get angry, those are all part of being human and encompassing humanness.
It's true. Very true.
Yeah.
It's like not ignoring any one particular emotion as they come. It's like being with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. Because sometimes I think in the big bad world out there, we can get into this idea that only certain emotions are good to experience and other ones are not so good. So we, like grief, we put a limit on grief, or we put a limit on sadness, or oh no, that's scary depression over there, or that's, oh, the big bad criminal activity of addiction. You know, there's all these different ways we can get ourselves in these boxes, and then we can forget that we are all humans having these experiences, and we are humans that are working through our struggles and trials and tribulations, and we're all doing the best we can from the circumstances that we're coming from. You know, we I think sometimes forget the humanity that you were mentioning in that. And that's a really big part, because yes, we're more than just humans.
We're more than just male and female.
And yeah.
You know, we are humans all together, and then it goes even bigger.
I agree.
Than that.
And it's like owning our humanness as well as owning our more than our humanness.
Mm-hmm.
And like being able to like feel the bigness, the smallness, and everything in between of all that, you know. And that there's a lot of subtleties there, but a lot about ourself that can come out in that experience. So
how do we bring that back to girl power versus
Girl power.
woman power? And it's not versus like against each
No,
other,
no.
but just using language is very tricky. I mean, I hear a lot of people when they talk on videos, they use in interviews or other types of media, they use the word I think, I think. And it's like, do you think it or do you believe it? You know, I believe I am happy, you know, and I think I'm happy. I believe I'm happy.
I know I'm happy.
I know I'm happy.
Yeah, because I've decided it. You know, there's different ways to like. That's so fun because I kept seeing different ways we can own our happy. You know, you know, because sometimes I know for me, like, I had this one teacher, and I went to see him in a private session, and he told me I never smile, and I about fell out of the chair.
It's a true story.
Because I was just like, what? Like, the people pleaser in me was like, what do you mean I don't smile? Like, what do you mean I'm not happy? Like, oh my God, I'm not, like, my illusion of I'm just this happy-go-lucky Jay is not what it isn't. You didn't see that? And
you didn't catch that?
And so that was, yeah. So again, we can be doing something on the outside, but again, you know, kind of like what I see on The Voice when they're talking about these singers emoting through the song as well in the performance, and like there's more than just singing involved. In the very same way, when we really own these feelings instead of just, you know, let them be like a mind thing, like, oh, I think I know what it's like to be happy, I think I know what it's like, or bring it all the way in, like, I know what it's like because I'm fucking having a good time right now and I am happy, you know. And using I am, a strong, a powerful statement, and owning it. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the meditation real quick. We're going to continue this because I feel like there's more, but I want to do the meditation.
Let's do it.
We'll do the card reading of the day. We'll see what comes through there, and then I know we'll have some final thoughts and wrap up this whole girl power, woman power, man power, boy power. And I mean, even the fact that man power, it sounds so like that's what we're supposed to say. Boy power sounds weird, it's so foreign. And then you say girl power, it feels good, and then woman power feels weird. And it's like, even that, like, why does it feel weird to say woman power? So that's just something to think about. We're gonna again get into the subtleties of language. All right.
There could be a few segments on that.
Yeah, we're just gonna start that conversation. All right. So let's go ahead and close our eyes together, and we're gonna imagine growing roots from the base of our spine and the bottoms of our feet down into the center of Mother Earth. This is consciously connecting us to the earth energy. She's alive, she's awake, she's aware. Take this opportunity to extend your love and gratitude down your roots, and take a moment to wait for a response back. How do you sense and feel your Mother Earth connection, your Father Earth connection? It's really a balanced masculine and feminine energy. But again, saying Mother Earth just feels good. But again, just again being aware of the flexibility with language we can have. Continuing to open up and being able to again experience even more of these energies. And I feel a little breeze coming in, so I just feel like the earth energy coming to life. Yeah, really wanting to highlight, yes, she's a masculine and feminine unified energy. She's fully balanced. She, he, it, the earth. I just feel like the earth doesn't feel alive, but again, I feel like we can empower that word, the earth, to feel alive. That's up to us. We can co-create that together. We can energize that together. All right, so now I would like you to become aware of a personal sun within your heart space. Excuse me. And I would like you to begin to expand your personal sun bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Growing it bigger and bigger past your physical body suit, past your physical body. We're going to take it out 13 feet today. Magical 13. Celebrating the 13th day of July that we left Warner Brothers and started a new journey. Just one of the new journeys we've taken in our life. All right, so I'd like you to feel into this energy, feel into your personal sun energy, knowing that it is sourced from the universal source creator energy, and it's unlimited. There's no end to this energy, this universal love in all of its many forms and levels and layers. pouring out through you, energizing your own personal sun, your own personal energy field, creating your personal reality as well as your personality. Animating your world. There is an energy animating you. And this is the way to connect to it. Just one way. And did you notice it's a direct connection? No intercessors required. All right. Let me tune in here and see where we're going to be going for our 11/11 meditation adventure. All right, I'm seeing the big island of Hawaii, the really super tall volcano. I don't know the name of it right offhand, but again, we're going to use our imagination. We're going to lift off in our personal sun, and we're going to head to the big island of Hawaii. And as we are flying there, faster than a flash, we see coming in, flying in to the island, we see the big, huge, giant volcano. I would like you to head to the top, and I would like you to notice the giant amethyst and citrine crystal formation on top of one of the crater points. I would like you to fly to that part of the volcano and land, touching this crystal matrix, this amethyst and citrine crystal matrix. And as you touch it, I would like you to notice that it all comes to life. You notice the color and vibration beginning to radiate off the crystals, through the crystals, and you notice it through your hands. And you notice that you're having an energy interaction, an energy exchange with these crystals, these earth angel elementals. Yes. And we are tuning into the energies of the day. We are fully charging up our batteries. We're saying yes to being happy. I am happy. Say I am happy if you want to be happy, if you choose happy. Say that to yourself. I am happy. I am joy. I am excited. And if there's any part of you that feels like you resist that for whatever reason, you can just allow that to be dissolved with your personal sun's energy. Your personal sun has the power of 1,000 suns blazing within you and is able to just dissolve these limiting beliefs when we're ready to let them go. So we just allow our personal sun to dissolve any limiting beliefs that we have right now that we want to let go of. And it's perfect timing. We're coming into the full moon energy in a couple days on Wednesday. So the releasing process has already started to begin. And we're making room for more truth, more love, more understanding of men, of women, and the scales of masculine and feminine, and the scales of sexuality, and the scales of relationships, and the movement that happens as humanity frees itself to have these different experiences with ourselves. When we free ourselves to be unlimited, when we are not bogged down by social restraints, by religious beliefs, by things that make us feel shameful or guilty to be ourself. Let's let those burn away now. All right, wonderful. So, again, we're going to just take a moment here to have an exchange with this crystal. And I would recommend you ask it what new awareness, what new understanding wants to come through for me here now. And see what comes through. All right. Thank you, everybody. I would like you to give yourself a pat on the back and a big hug, thanking your Light Align team, thanking Mother Earth, Father Earth, thanking yourself. And I would like you now to lift off in your personal sun, heading back to wherever you are physically located, and you get there back faster than a flash. And I would like you to begin to wiggle your fingers and toes and open up your eyes whenever you are ready. Woo! It was fun having another person here. I felt like we were able to energize even more fun. So, any thoughts? Anything you want to anything you want to talk about with that experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much energy coming in. For me personally, just a lot of confirmations, a lot of things going on through my personal life right now. So that's really what came through, is that divine timing. It's really important, and not pushing and not trying to make a plan work that just doesn't want to work. And because there's something better around the corner if you just have patience and love yourself and love the people that you're going through the experience with, one day at a time, and not being overbearing. I can have a tendency to be controlling and overbearing, and I really want to control everything in my life, but I'm really in learning of just letting go again and being okay with the flow. Sometimes it's hard.
It is daily, well, at least for me, like sometimes it feels like a full-time job to work with my brain. Really, it has been a process. I mean, I think about, you know, it's a process, getting to know ourselves, getting to understand ourselves, as well as to kick out any of those thoughts, those voices that no longer really line up to who we really are in this now moment. And then the process of replacing those thoughts with thoughts that we really want to be thinking. So that's I feel like an ongoing thing, but well worth it. And that is going to lead us right into the card reading of the day. So I'm going to do a little shuffle, and then Crystal's going to pick the card. So we're tuning in the collective energies, highest and best good, the card that reflects today's energies. All right.
Strength.
I love it. All right. I love it. Strength. Okay, so I really feel like and again, I'll be posting a still shot of this on my Instagram that populates to my Facebook page, so you'll be able to see it. But strength card. Let's take a look at this real quick. Oh, the owl. Okay.
Like a giraffe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyways, these cards are great too, because like every time I look at them, I notice
there's something new.
Yeah, and it's like, where were you hiding out? Okay, so I'm gonna start, and then please don't hesitate to jump in there if you pick up and if you want to communicate anything. The whole idea of strength is perfect for the theme we're talking about today. Empowering women, empowering men as well. You know, I feel like men sometimes feel like they don't really know what to do. You know, there's this we're asking men to be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more open with their thoughts and feelings, and that isn't necessarily has not been necessarily taught.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not a strength of a man to be able to express himself emotionally, and I feel like there's a lot of men out there that want to express themselves emotionally, but one thing we're not taught in schools is how to express ourselves in a very beneficial way, and it's finding that inner strength to say whatever emotion is coming out and learn to deal with it and understand it and nurture it. And it takes strength. Especially for men. I think definitely men have a harder time showing their feminine side, emotional side, even though we put the word feminine with it because it's emotions. Every human has them.
Exactly. And it's really kind of silly to think that that should be off limits for men, or that, because I see it as, like, from my perspective and kind of being able to, I've been around a lot of women in my life, and no, I don't claim to know what it's like to be a woman, but I have been able, because of my just kind of ability to ride the fence, so to speak, because of my sexuality and how I'm designed, that has given me a real insight. And because I didn't go through the programming of men, like, I really kind of like somehow skirted that without having a real dad when I was first in those like younger development ages. And so that really gave me, as much as I hated that, not having the bro code, that I'm excited about that now, because it's like, it's giving me the freedom. Like, I don't have to work within these weird social constraints, like, you know, men can't cry, or it's not okay to cry in public because, you know, you're showing your weakness, or that somehow if you are feeling some kind of emotion, that's weakness. And it's like really getting these weird things that don't even make sense, like really facing those things, you know, and allowing ourselves to be emotional when we feel the emotions, and sad when we feel it, or angry when we feel it, and it's knowing how to be in them, but without necessarily letting them take us on these crazy roller coasters they can take us on. When we have, oftentimes I find that happens when we buried them, and then it's like a volcano, you know, because we've shut them down for so long, then they want to come out. You know, they're like, hey, I'm gonna use this trigger opportunity to come out and be like, yes. So anyways, back to strength. Our strength really comes from fully standing in our truth, standing in our light, and part of that is balancing our masculine and feminine, because we can't really fully create from our creative expression is limited, especially for us men. And women, if like women have cut themselves off emotionally to fit into that man's world, that can limit our creative flow, our creative expression, because we've again controlled the valves, shut some things off, and they're not meant to be shut off. They're meant to be on, working, flowing, and so that's where we're at now. I think we've really been turning some things on and beginning to see the steam, so to speak, that energy that's created, and so I'm excited now to see what comes through. So again, there's anything to fill with embodying strength, and that strength comes in many different shapes, sizes, colors, feelings.
I think also to the flip side of this, of, talking about young boys and men expressing their emotional side, then there's also the side that, there's these girls that are being brought up in this very media-driven society where they're supposed to look rail thin. They're there for beauty, for fashion, for makeup, and being dolls for human society to dress up and for them to manipulate however they want them. It's also letting little girls know that you're empowered to become that engineer, that, whatever, architect, get into coding and technology, and you need strength. And let's face it, because it is a man's world, we live in a very patriarchal world, our society, that, young girls need the strength and the empowerment to move through those difficult obstacles. So, I mean, we all have, where, we could do more balancing of, allowing each other to express ourselves in our own unique expression versus trying to put everybody in these gender boxes. And then from gender boxes, we get sexuality boxes and, so on and so forth, until we're in this tiny little box.
Yeah, where we can't move anymore. And we're like, why can't I move? Why can't I change? Why can't I do these things I want to do? Oh, because I put myself in a freaking box. That's why, a little one.
Well, society has taught us to put ourselves in a box. Now we have to teach ourselves to undo each box and each learned behavior.
Yeah.
That schools put into our mind, that our parents, inadvertently teach us. And I don't think that it's any one parent's intention is to disempower their child, but I believe that through media and video games and magazines, we do that intentionally, unintentionally to the younger generations, as well as then it seems that the older generations just really want to cling on to those things.
Yeah, the older ways, yeah.
Keep putting it back on, and that, so it's an interesting battle that we have going on here.
Battle, dance. Battle dance. I can think it's both, because it is this pushing, pulling feeling.
Well, that expansion, contraction.
Yeah.
That you talked about.
Yeah. So, well, that feels complete for the strength card. I really thank you for adding your input and your vibing with the energy as well, because again, I think it's important to realize we're all going to come at it from these different angles, and it's like a bird colony just showed up. I love that. We're all going to come from our own different angles, but that doesn't mean that just because we might see something from a different angle that would instantly invalidate your angle or my angle or your cousin's angle. That it's about allowing ourselves as adults to be able to have these conversations, share ideas, know that we can share these ideas and still have our own thought about them. Like, just because someone shares it doesn't mean I must adopt it now that they shared it. Or because they are so-and-so's, authority according to blah, 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 I must now adopt this truth. Bullshit. You don't have to do that. I would say, please don't do that. Like, it's important to discern and run these things through your discernment and know, is this true for me? Or is part of this true for me? And let the other part that isn't true for me, and own it in a different way. Internalize it. Like, make it real for yourself versus some kind of just book knowledge or some kind of like, my friend Jay says so, and he's real cool, whatever. That just make it, my idea about this show has always been about grounding these, unseen energy and spiritual principles and metaphysical principles and whatever we want to call them, these things that some of us are talking about now, and how to bring them into real life, how to make them real, how to use them, how to demystify them, as well as almost like make them even more mystified, because it's like,
more mystified.
Yeah, it's like through education, cutting through the crap, cutting through the parts that really want to continue to limit us, but then really highlighting the freedom, highlighting where the freedom is, highlighting where we can let go of our the boxes. Another thing that Crystal and I did together, we went to a 10-day silent meditation up in Central California, in Norfolk, and I think I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna invite Crystal back on and we'll talk about that, because that's the whole show in itself, just talking about what we learned in that process. That was a big process where we unlimited ourselves in a lot of ways, and so that's a little teaser. More to come there. So that is gonna do it for today's show, because I feel like
we're good.
I feel like it's been a long today, but good long. I want to thank everybody that's tuned in live. I want to also thank everybody that's tuning in the archives. I want to really thank you, my beautiful sister, Crystal Bryan.
Thank you.
And some of you might know her as Crystal Barrett, but I had the great honor and pleasure of marrying her and her husband on the beach back in October. And so now she is happily married. And so now she is Crystal Bryan.
Yeah.
And so,
new last name.
Yes. So do we want to let the dogs out here, let them run around? And we're gonna, she's going to go with the dogs. We'll say hi to the dogs. And Monica says, thank you both. And you're welcome. It's thank you for tuning in and joining us live, and joining in and bringing your energy to the conversation. Look at the boys. Oh, and girl, oh, it's the doggy party. Doggy parties. Hi. Hi, guys. Yeah. You tell them, Watts. It's the dogs.
There's some big old feminine energy.
Yeah. It's the Fiona. And the Willie dog. Hey, Willie dog. What's going on? Watsy Fotsies. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Willie. Hi, babies. Hi, Washy Potchies. Hi's. Alright, guys. Nah. Yes, yay, Monica. She says, yay, dogs. I know. We love our dogs. So I'm glad you got to see them and they got to come out with us and be in this energy. Again, thank you for tuning in and joining in live today. We had a great time and I love you very much. And we will, we'll team up again sometime here soon. And I'll be back. Watson may or may not join. He likes to take days off. But I'll be back tomorrow at 11. Bye-bye, everybody. Okay, fine. You want to be on camera? Yeah. You tell him. You gonna get him, Fiona? He's gonna get him?